pride issue, which is arrogance, which is SCLF factors. I express myself. I give that ability as to God as a blessing. Okay, why do I have that? And what did I do to develop it? It's not. It's what He gives. He'll give you that, and He'll give me that, and He'll give you some, whatever. We're all getting something. Clearly. Okay. The interesting thing is, I see what He gave you. You see what He gave me, and everyone else. This is the problem with non-face-to-face. You don't get to see that. And it's actually a problem. And you don't get to see it developed or be a part of the development of what He gives you as a blessing. So that's a problem, but that's why we have church and that's fellowship, and I don't even see that. So where are we now? Because I have been plenty of face-to-face things, lots of them. Okay, so whatever He's given you or me, so be it. I recognize it. I don't disregard it, and I don't say that you need what I have, which is what these people do. Specifically, see, here I go. The Pentecostal group will say you have to have these experiences with the feelings, and those feelings better be joy, because you can't have any other ones. And I don't want to go too far into it, but maybe I should, and I can, but I just...
But that's religion. That's just, there's nothing more to say. That's religion. Because
go ahead.
I asked, Kathy, and this went on for a while, 15 minutes. Do you consider yourself a Christian or a Catholic? A simple question. And back and forth, she just could not answer that. And finally came down to, I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
I said,
can't deny that. Can't.
And I said, no, you're a Christian who's practicing Catholic policies. And she just, it was silence. I mean, I don't know that she agreed with it.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, then. There's a lot to talk about with respect to that. And that's, without getting into people who love to beat you down as to where you are, because everything's heaven and hell now. Everything's related in the gospel message to heaven and hell, and that's just silly. Heaven and hell are holding tanks, and the real issue is your place in the kingdom. So you don't want to be in the hell holding tank. It's not apparently very fun. Luke 16. So anyway, these are gospel points to make initially. So I don't really. I mean, whatever I'm going to say to this guy, I'll go wherever the conversation goes. I can. And you don't even have to pray for me. I know He's given me that blessing. So you pray for the opportunities. And I'll open the door with thought, but the door literally has to be opened. Well, I shouldn't say that. It is God's business, very spiritual, circumstantial, and spiritual. So I'll play it one step at a time. In the meantime,
where are you going? I missed that part.
Well, this guy's at the temple right now, and
that guy you bumped into weeks ago?
No, another guy, my neighbor, met him or knows him, and he's semi in a wheelchair, not really, but he's at today's Sabbath, so he can't do any walking. So he wants some. Yeah, that's how they are. If you understood the Sabbath, we should do a study. When you look at Torah and God's instruction on Sabbath, which is why they got so crazy with it. they thought that they were put into the Babylonian captivity because they neglected Sabbath. And the Sabbath they neglected was the annual, well, the 7-year Sabbath. We take the whole year off, not the Saturday Sabbath. So the Sabbath concepts got really butchered. And by the time Rome took over, they just beat that down completely. And that's why we don't do anything with Sabbath, because we're Roman / Protestant / whatever, Roman meaning Catholic. Very, very infiltrated. The theology is almost lost. Protestant theology is almost wherever. It's not. When the Puritans brought it over, it was more strict. So big problems. In the meantime, I'd like to discuss it. Let me see what I can.
That's why history is such a fascinating subject. I know the Puritans were what they call them, the Haggai? No, beginning with an H.
Huguenots? Huguenots.
Yeah, Huguenots, and from France, and they were really pushed all over Europe because nobody wanted them there because they were very devout Christians, let's say. They're the ones that finally came over to settle in the New World. We call them the Puritans, but they were very devout. Too much so for the rest of Europe.
Yeah, there's a lot of history to look at.
Yeah, I personally think that's why this country was so prospered. One of the reasons, anyway.
We weren't that prosperous. We weren't at all. We had lots of resources. We had lots of trouble with the indigenous. And it wasn't until the government was structured, it was very British. I will admit that, of course. But and then the Catholic system, the Vatican Roman system, which was definitely the rulers, was a big part of it. Big part of it. Sorry, but did I say that? Yeah, we're not who we think we are. It's not just a bunch of guys who read the Bible and then we got our act together. Anyway, still got you?
Yeah. Yeah, our own history is very skewed because if you look at the Spanish king and queen, Queen Isabella, she paid for whatever ships for those guys to come and settle into down into Florida where you are now. So yeah, Spain, France, England, they all wanted North America. I think. I mean, it's not taught in our history. I couldn't even find a book to substantiate the claim I just made. But history is fascinating.
Yeah, I've looked at it enough to know something, to talk about it. I have perspective, sure. And I would say that, well, I know everyone that I know personally has no clue about it in terms of how I view it, because you have to study outside the NASA system. And the NASA system, NASA, the school education indoctrination propaganda system, won't really give you this, and you got to wonder why, right? So, wow, I'm actually late here. Let's see, not late, but I don't know where the time went. I have to walk.
Where do you have to go? To the guy's house?
I have to go to the temple. There's a temple here.
Oh.
Right here in the village.
I didn't know that.
And today's Sabbath, so nobody walks or does anything.
Oh boy.
So that's what I got to do. I got to push this guy in a wheelchair about a half a mile. I got roped into it because of my neighbor, and I said yes. I have to be careful when people ask me things. I'm right away going to do it.
Yeah, if they're not allowed to walk, how'd they all get to temple?
No, they can walk, but this guy can't. He's in a wheelchair, so they just can't drive. I don't know. You got to ask them. It's very, I
They're not
guess.
allowed to do a lot of things. I know that.
Yeah. Well, you heard
And
Sabah's got Lent fasting going on. That's Roman. Where'd that come from?
Oh, I didn't hear that. She's doing that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's
oh
lots of
boy.
influences, and I don't know. Well, so right now there's lots of people walking. There's a guy who should put his shirt on. It's pretty unsightly. I mean, if you're gonna walk with your shirt off, you do some bodybuilding or something.
That's funny.
Okay, here we go.
You should cite him for indecent exposure.
Exactly.
I'm sure they're not. I see him in. Anyway.
Now I'm at Berkshire. All right, I gotta hang up because I'm a little discombobulated here.
Okay.
So
Thanks for chatting.
yeah, it's a chat, all right. Wow, there's no guest park. It's a story, Berkshire.
Are you
Berkshire.
driving or walking?
I'm driving at the moment, but wow.
You mean to
Weird.
pick him up?
Well, I have to walk to get him. So right now, I drove closer, so I don't have to walk 2 miles.
Oh.
So
Why doesn't any of his fellow, whatever they are, do it?
Because well, the Jews can't do it. So they got to get it. They got to get a goyim to do it. It's Sabbath.
Oh. That is how you're going to be looked at. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. No question. You guys don't have to follow Sabbath, so and he'll pay me apparently. So you know, I get it. It's between me and God. I'll do that right now. I didn't time it right. I'm a little late. Wow.
Okay. Go do what you got to do. So.
All right.
Hang in there.
I might even run.
I'm not even sure what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where have you been in the temple?
No.
I have. Where do you see the chairs up at the top behind the rabbi, the head rabbi talking? And you're like, what are those chairs up there? That's the big guys. Those are the big donors. I mean, big shots.
Yeah.
You know, if you do a little study on Donald Trump and his, the Jewish lawyer that he got involved in that helped him with his first project. I forget the name of it. Everybody thought he was as tough as nails. Nobody liked him, blah, blah, blah. He understood all this stuff, that guy. And he was tough as nails. He didn't kowtow to any of this nonsense. Anyway.
Probably.
I think it was Cohen.
So, they're very cliquish, and they do their thing. So, good. I mean, it's hard to understand what's really happening. Mind their own business and run businesses. You get to be an employee. It's very good. God is saying, these are my people. You're going to be the head. Let them be the tail. So, whether you like it or not, that's how it is. It's a Christian to do.
What is a Christian to do?
Have your eternal perspective. Those who be first will be last, and those who be last will be first. It has nothing to do with this life. It's Christ and God Almighty, and how you render your thoughts, develop your thoughts and thinking is the issue, not how much money you make.
Well said.
Yeah.
All these guys are a pastor, by the way. I don't know why you don't say that often, but they are big on titles. And they
don't care about. They don't like reverends, ministers, and pastors.
I know, which is why you should let them know.
Yeah.
There may be one or two that are silent and don't agree with all this nonsense, but they're so bullied, they have no choice. And I knew a Jewish person just like that. In fact, that's how I wound up at the temple I wound up in. And she was not welcomed by the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, I met a couple of them too, and they're not Christian. They don't want to be. They're not going to be. They're secular at best, and so's the rest of the world.
They drop out of all of it.
I know Christians. The whole struggle is Christianity. Get the rest of the world, really. The Christians don't even have the love of God. But not in the way I see it, anyway.
No, in this younger generation, they see this mess, and they want no part of it. And sadly, it's causing them to have no part in God at all.
Yep. That's the apostasy. So, hand it over to some. Good morning. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Young Israel. That's it. I don't even know where to get them. Huh. Anyway, it's an interesting thing that I have all this perspective in me.
It is.
Look at all these people. Rich, grown, mature men and women, every age, color, race, and religion. And here I am. Just another brick in the wall.
Not exactly.
Well, he actually has a reference in it, and Peter brings it out from Isaiah, I think, about a living stone in the temple. Very interesting. Hold on, I gotta call you guys back.
Yeah, call him. Do you have his number?
No.
Oh, boy. All right. Talk to you later, so.
You see.
Hey, Kev, how you feeling? How you feeling? Good. Hmm. You mean like it's post surgical pain? Ouch. This is what this is why I've told people to get these type of surgeries when they're young. It's very hard to recover when you're older. Yeah, yeah, I know. Nobody's going to sit there and go, man, maybe I should have my hip replaced. They just say, oh, my hip hurts, right? That's right. Hmm. Huh. Because they don't really know themselves. Especially the orthopedic guys, because I had done that surgery many times, and it's a very complicated surgery. It's long, and there's a lot of instruments. You really got to know what you're doing. They're very smart guys who can pull that off, that type of surgery. But they, it it's so much to learn. I don't know that they can even get to know all the ins and outs of the rest of the problems. I don't think they want to know. You know what I mean? I hope that made sense. There isn't a guy who would say, "Yeah, do that." You know why? He will say, because he'll say, "Of course they're all wearing out. You're 50 years old. It's part of getting old," which is an asinine thing to say and policy to take, but that's what they do. And to some degree, it's true, I guess. Right, exactly. And that's when they'll ask you the very first question: do you have pain? And if you say yes, they move forward. They will take the X-ray. Oh, this is why you have pain. We may have to replace that joint. And then they send you over to the guy who does the joint replacements. And ultimately, you end up in the operating room, which is where I come in and help these guys do what they do. It's and so the yeah. Yeah, you'd be. I don't know what people did in the, with the guys who settled the West in those days, in the late 1800s, let's say. Um, I mean, you're not going to get up on your horse and go, if you ever gone horseback riding, I could see why those guys didn't live very long. You're just getting, your spine is getting bounced and compressed every time that horse, you know, trots. It's insane. That's why you either walk a horse, which is what you do when you trail ride, or you go into a full gallop. A full gallop is fun because you're you're not even moving off that saddle. You're just hold on tight. It's actually very fun, but you don't have much control when a horse is in a full gallop. Anyway, pretty much, yeah. You're just sitting there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what those guys did in those days. I'm sure they all had bad backs at some point. Stopped riding horses. Was it? I know. Yeah, I know. I know when they were like moving ahead of a herd of cattle, um, like the young kids with, you had no experience and rank. You were at the back end of the herd, and you were riding in a cloud of dust, which is why they all wore a bandana. Um, yeah, it was awful to do that. Exactly. John Wayne did a great movie with Montgomery Ward, I think, when he was real young. I can't remember. I just had the name of it, and I forgot it now. It was an all black and white movie, but it was a great movie. Most John Wayne fans probably don't know it. I'm gonna find it and then I'll text it to you. But it's I mean, I like John Wayne because I don't care for today's movie genres at all. And if I watch, I mean, I like the Star Wars because it's good sci-fi, but um, Steve doesn't like it because of the way they imply the Force and stuff. And he says it's kind of Buddhist. Well, I don't go there with a movie, but nevertheless, when it comes to watching them, you watch an old John Wayne movie and then watch a new movie. Um, the differences are, I can't even. You'd have to see it yourself. Almost can't even explain it. I think it's definitely a generational thing. Like my kids wouldn't watch John Wayne, but I could. I could watch him all day because there was nothing. How can I say? There was nothing offensive. Not in my opinion. I like, yeah, I like the old ones. Now, when Disney bought it from Lucas, they tried to just make, they're just making crap up. You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with the what Lucas was putting out. That original Star Wars one, with Luke Skywalker and Yoda and Obi-Wan, that came out in the 70s. You know that? Makes you feel old, doesn't it? No, how old are you? You, oh, you're our age. Give or take a few years. Yeah, yeah. It was just yeah, they, yeah. There's one. Ruth is a very good one. Obviously, uh, obviously, Ten Commandments. Yeah, yeah. They redid that, and I never saw the new one with Denzel Washington. Have you? I never. I never. I don't know much about it. I just don't want to pay money for it. So maybe I will. I don't. I tell you, I liked it. I thought it was very well done. Um, I saw a lot of YouTube things with the I forgot his name, the guy who played the actor who played Christ in that series. I forgot his name, but anyway, who? Yeah, right. No, this guy. I forgot his name, but yeah, he did it. The whole thing I thought was very well done. Obviously, I'm not the only one. It went around the entire world. Like 800 million people watched it, something like that. I mean, that's crazy. But it was that it was that well done. Um, they are. That should tell you something. It's not that they're starved for. I'm going to say biblical truth, not religion. Because I mean, I know I know plenty of people that they'll be going to church tomorrow and they didn't eat meat yesterday and so on and so forth. But I, all I can say is from my own experience that they don't, they're not taught how to live a spiritual life from going to church on Sunday. Obviously, you would conclude that if you went to church on Sunday. Oh yeah, yeah. I never understood that. What? What? Oh my goodness. Time to go. Hmm. Wow. I don't even know what to. I don't even know what to make of that. What to comment on that. And yet here they have in the very midst of them a guy like Steve devoted his entire life to it, learning about it. I mean, I don't do listen. It's very difficult to get up every single morning. Wow. You know that. Yeah. I. If somebody said that to me, I would say something like, I'd probably wind up with a snide comment like, "Wow, did he have a deep voice? What did he sound like?" Because I mean, it's really the most asinine thing you could. And people listen. You talk to Jesus, really? I talk to him every day when I open his Word, but I'm not getting any verbal feedback. I, you're doing something wrong. What do you mean you're not getting verbal feedback? He should. fact, if he's a pastor, he should not allow anybody up there unless they're a guest pastor. Steve and I were very fortunate to have the teacher we had. Um, of course, he was in World War II. I mean, so he was an old timer, and they didn't have nearly the um, well, they didn't even find Dead Sea Scrolls, and even then, it took at least 10, 15 years after they found the Dead Sea Scrolls to figure out what was really in them. So like I said, he didn't have access to any of that stuff. Nevertheless, he spoke fluent Hebrew and Greek, and he was like a genius. And he taught air cadets how to fly, and he was involved in I can't even think of it. Oh yeah, what do they call it? Anyway, I can't think of it. But point is, the way he taught in the people in his church was kind of the same way he taught his cadets. Point one, point two, point three, and he was very systematic in the way he taught. And of course, he spoke about his own, not his personal life as much, but the way things were. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, um, I remember him just going off on a tangent. He literally talked about the proper way to date a girl. And I was young. I was still in the Navy. And that had an influence on me, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's the kind of guy he was. We were very fortunate to get a hold of him. And once he got too old to teach, he didn't set up a proper way for someone to take over the church. So his son wound up taking over. Um, he's okay now, I guess. I haven't listened to him in years, but in the beginning, he wasn't good at it because he wasn't experienced. But nevertheless, it was uh, it was because of him that I even started to learn about the Bible in the first place. Otherwise, I had no interest whatsoever. I was not interested in joining a religion or going to church or anything like that. Really? I'm, I, mhm. Hmm. Never. Hmm. Yeah, never. Yeah. Well, that's just it. They're anti God, anti creation. So, they somehow want to, you know, yeah, they wanted a whole generation, which is my kids, to, well, not not look at or even believe in creation and God and so on and so forth. We were all, it was all the Big Bang, and move forward from there. We were whatever we were, but we were amoebas, and then evolved into. There's a lot of holes in the whole Big Bang theory, but nobody thinks enough to look at them, much less ask the question. And as a kid in school, you just sit there and get spoken at. What? Boy. We never had it growing up. I don't even know. I don't even think there was a Bible in my house. Win-win. I don't even. Oh boy. Yeah, I would say. What if we're not? Now what? Exactly. Yeah. It's No, it's very dangerous because yeah. Yeah, that's pretty goofy. Yeah, you have to stop and ask, where are the young people getting their, not just their content, but how to think and what to think. The computer, social media. Oh, right. Yeah. I've been lately looking at I don't know, I saw a YouTube about the Ethiopian Bible and how because of their geographical area, they were not influenced by Rome and or later on by Great Britain. And so they kept to the original languages and over the centuries just kept on copying the original scriptures. So it's probably the most, I'm going to say, authentic version. I don't know if you can really, but yeah, but they changed. Probably had to do. I'm sure it had to do with money. Interesting. I'm going to send you something. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, they are and are going to be the big problem. Well, we're we're doing a pretty. They tried to sink the aircraft carrier, the USS Lincoln. I don't know. I was listening to it. They sent like 20 some odd drones at this thing, and not one of them even got close. And then they sent another 30 some odd drones. They were assuming we were going to send up these, $1 million Tomahawk type missiles, but instead we had this new weapon. Remember Trump saying we have weaponry now that is unbelievable? I can't even describe it. Well, it was this. I can't even explain it to you. You'd have to listen to this YouTube. It's fascinating. It's this big, giant black panel, and it just sits there on the off on the flight deck of the carrier, and nobody knows what it does or what it was there for, and apparently it emits not a microwave, but something like a microwave. Only it's like a super laser pinpointed, uh, you know, radioactive beam or something like that. And it literally knocked all 30 some odd drones. It didn't blow them up, it just shut them off, and they all fell into the ocean. Not one of them came close. I mean, it was it was fascinating. There, Iran and China and Russia, everybody who's watching this is learning a lot about what the United States military is all about. And I guess they seem to forget that we've been at war for 15 years now. You don't think the military industrial complex has been kind of not only getting a lot of money, but working hand over fist? Oh, here's Steve. Hang on a second. See what he's doing. Steve's gonna. Oh, there he is.
I don't know where I am here. We took a shortcut, and I'm sort of. Where the heck are we? It's pretty weird. I'm actually turned around.
Did you find the guy yet?
Yeah, I already talking to him and his wife.
Oh,
Very nice. Shabbat Shalom. I didn't mention Jesus. They're very, for all the things I might say about them, because I call them synagogue of Satan. It's not these people. It's the rulers.
right.
Same with the Washington people are not the people, or the banksters. They're not the bank tellers. So I suppose I should be careful the way I poke at things, but or maybe more structured in my criticism, if that makes sense. But for now,
if you had more than me and Kevin, you would. But
oh yeah, I would. I would never be real careful at it.
So what happened? You dropped them off, and now you're waiting around? You gotta take them back?
No, I wheeled them home. Now I'm walking to my car, and I don't remember where I parked. So, okay, I know where we
are. Can you call your car?
No.
Well, you can hit the alarm button in the back, and it'll just keep beeping until you find it.
Yeah, quarter mile away.
Oh,
Anyway, so they observe Sabbath, so they'll just sit at home, and he's basically, his legs aren't working, and her legs, I looked at them just now, they're not working at all. So
oh boy. How old are they?
I don't know, 80 something.
Oh,
Married 61 years. So they're very, this culture is very rooted in structure. So you can't take that away from them. And it's biblical. So it's always instruction in God's systems, which were built around the rabbis. So whatever it is, it's a more stable culture. However, their love is just very. Their focus is on God.
really?
Well, yeah. When they don't. This is where I go with this thing called love, right? Because I don't really think people understand it. I don't. What do you mean? I don't think. I know they don't. Because there's so many definitions to it, or so many facets of definition. And if you think compromise, which was our advice, what's marriage all about? A lot of compromise. This guy said, because I asked him, he said it's a lot of yes, dear. So that's not compromise, that's capitulation. So whatever that is, he's still the man of the house. So what about these what do they call them? Yeah, Baba Vidish. But the Jewish mamas, they rule everything. So it's a little, whatever it is, I'm not going to run it down at all. It's funny to see it. Nice to meet you. We have to get you a wife. What do you do? They plug you in right away. I even did some work for some Jewish lady, and the first thing this girl was doing was plugging me in. Like you should do a website, we could do this, and she's not even my wife. She just, you do good work, you need to do this. So I've realized that's what they do. And that's actually what a wife does. So they do it to the children. They make sure they're plugged in to the temple, economy. Like you're going to be a CPA, not an accountant. You're going to be a CPA.
Yeah.
And that's wherever they go, that's why they rule. And it's really interesting.
That's exactly what we had, right? Didn't we have that? I was just telling Kevin, I don't even think we had a Bible in our house when we were growing up. Anyway.
You know what's funny? I don't remember where I parked. I think I parked in here. Berkshire. So we didn't have a Bible. Our parents didn't have a Bible. And whatever happened, those guys don't have a Bible. Them. Although Monir has one, and now he didn't teach them and held Bible class and prayer and anything. So it's not the Catholic way.
I tried many years ago. My kids were young, but
I know. I tried whatever my attempt was. Found my car in a roundabout way. So, I don't know. I don't like that they don't have. Like you could say the Christians have Christ, and so it's a better thing. I guess you'd say that. In fact, you would say that
Yeah,
they don't
you
have.
have to say that.
Yeah. So they
Because
have.
no matter what, how these people's culture is, we, you know, well, we don't have to go back that far. Go back to Germany. What happened to them? We were the only country that let them in. Even Britain was like, nope, go on, beat it. Nevertheless, they don't have Christ. They just don't believe it at all. I mean, if you listen to a rabbi, and I listened to a few online, they're down hard on that whole idea, that whole thinking, and they slam Paul for it. Yeah, he had a lot of potential, and all of a sudden he went off the deep end. Followed that Christ guy.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't like you. I don't know what the ordinary person going to temples like, but that's the old time, the head rabbi guys. That's what they think. It's not good.
I told them I had an interest. I've always tell Jewish people I have an interest in Torah, and they never really say anything. They're not
That's
interested in you
ours.
having an interest.
Nope, it's theirs, not yours. You have
Yeah.
your thing. Go join the Catholics. That's what you.
Well, they wanted to know. I told them I was raised Catholic and I was Christian and so on. They have their thoughts about that, and then of course they're going to apply that to me in some label idea. So whatever. They're nice
They
people.
they don't even understand that part of their not just privilege, but we'll say responsibility was to disseminate God's word to all the pagans that wanted to hear it.
Yeah.
And even back in the Roman days, they, I don't say failed on that, but however you want to say it.
They're under tremendous spiritual attack.
Yeah.
And so are the Christians, so to speak. But the Christians have a different relationship with Yahweh, with the Holy Spirit, and this thing called love. Their attack isn't as, it's just different. And the spirit of religion that comes to a Christian is, well, I've seen it. You're not going to get these people out of their church mode.
No.
And whatever it is that I think you should have, or what I think the Bible's presenting, is difficult. God's working with all of it, including tomorrow with 15,000 people. So I know I'm walking a fine line, if not crossing the line, by giving a poke the way I do. But I do because of the format and flow of my thought. Because they are my thoughts. I'm basically not really restrained. So I call it like it is because I see it that way, and I could be wrong. So whatever it is that people want to say, if they want to say I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong from the Bible, other than a few verses about not condemning and not being critical and not cursing and things like that. And that's not what I'm doing. The way I see these religions, I poke is tantamount to a warning because uh, it's bringing everybody off a cliff, but in big time. off a cliff. They don't know Christ. Don't care what religion you're in, including the Christian one. So, whatever. I'm talking to someone who's Pentecostal, and there's no way I'm going to get them to think. They're all about the feeling.
Yeah. Once you get a belief going, you're not going to change it.
Yes. Well, these people want to talk about neuroplasticity and neurolinguistics, neural this and neuroscience, and they're disregarding the power of pistuo. So when I determined the mind to be integral to the operation of function of the spirit, they're saying that feeling is the spirit, and it's not, because it has nothing to do with the mind. So mind has to have the content, the spirit's operating, spirit of your mind. And that's a verse. And what do you ever hear anybody talk about that? Paul says that. So, I've seen to identify some stuff. I put it on the board. I wouldn't even talk to these people about it. They already have their mind made up. What is that? That's a rock in Pistuo factor. Here's my mind full of this data. Here's my Pistuo, locking it in. It's over. See it? Can you not see it? Anyway, that's my Shabbat Shalom. Here's my Shabbat Shalom post. Well, okay. A little hungry. What did you do?
You recorded our conversation? No, that wasn't necessary. I don't know that I was saying anything. I would have said something more profound. Uh-huh. I always hated the way I sound on a recording. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.